Morning Facebookers, it is Saturday, it is second lockdown live with Jen. I hope you're well this morning. I've got a different mug today. I've gone with a Christmas mug. I think this just sums up we've been 6 weeks in lockdown now or thereabouts. So I thought I'd go with a Christmas mug today. Cat Stories watching. Hey Cat, pop me in an emoji, tell me how your day's looking. Just waiting for a few more people to come on and join us. And then we'll get into today's topic. It's one of my favourite topics. It's about exercise versus movement, because I see them really, really differently. So I'm hoping my distinctions might help you out today with how this works and some surprising benefits of movement that you might not have considered. So yeah. And now I'm aware, I've learned from last week, there is a substantial delay from when you write a comment to when I see it. So I'm going to drink more coffee today whilst I wait for you to do that. So I can see Sarah's here as well, and a couple of others. If you could please pop me an emoji in, tell me how your day is looking. Hi Fallon. Hi Macy. Nice to see you. Thanks for saying hi. Cat's got a smiley face. Nice one, Cat. I mean, I would say it's because you're watching my live on a Saturday morning, right? Or it's because you're my sister and you have to say that. Either way. Alright guys, okay, so welcome. I see more of you are here now. So today's topic for Facebook Lockdown Live with Jen Founder. Oh, Cat's moving me in. I think that's a cat. Yeah, accurate. Okay, so today we're talking about exercise versus movement. And I see them quite differently. So I'm going to explain to you how I see them differently. Some surprising benefits of movement and how you can be really effortlessly motivated. And when I say you, I mean you and your household, to move and for it to be part of your daily life. Easy peasy without even really worrying about it. So, first off, I just want to get an idea of where you're at. So when I say, right, let's do some exercise. Okay, so I'm saying, yes, let's exercise. What do you feel? And I want you to type in the comments the letter that relates to how you feel when I instantly say, let's exercise. Are you A, do I have to? Like, I know I should, but like, it feels kind of dull, painful. Okay, so that's A. Okay, so if I say, let's exercise, and you go, really? Like, I know I should, but I really don't want to. It's kind of flat. That's an A. So if when I say let's exercise, you're like, yes, let's go. This is what I'm living for. This is going to be great. You're a B. So type in B if that is you. When I say let's exercise, you go, yes, let's go. My trainers are already on. And if you are somewhere in the middle of your mutuals, you're kind of like, yeah, maybe. I could go for that. Maybe not. Don't know. Just kind of neutral about it all. You are a C. So I want you to type into the comments where you are. So I could already see a few of you are coming through with answers. I know there's a delay on here. So Sarah says she's an A. She's like I know I have to, but it just sort of feels like a chore, another heavy thing I've got to do. Fallon says A with the laughing, smiling face. Yep, I understand that. Sarah with occasional moments of B. Yeah, no, that's fair. I think sometimes it is like, all right, yeah, cool. Yeah, let's do it. Let's exercise. And other times, it's another thing to fit into your week, isn't it? I know for me it is, if I have to actually schedule it in, like, if anything I have to schedule means I have to already go out with some sort of momentum loss to do it. Cat is an all the way A. I like the way you word that. Thanks for putting that out that way. All the way A. All the way, I really should, but like it's heavy and like, yeah. Have we got any C's? Have we got any neutral people who are kind of like, yeah. Well, most of us so far are A's. Is anyone like, yes, my trainers are already on? I know some of you on here work in the fitness industry, so I'm wondering if actually you are B's or are you actually closet A's as well, that you're a bit, actually it takes a little bit of momentum to get into things sometimes. Cool. All right. Thanks for your input, guys. There might be a few more on there. We know there's a delay, but I'll move on to the next bit now. Now, if I say, compared to how you felt when I said exercise and you told me if you were A, B, or C, if I say, let's just go and move. Come on, let's just move for a bit. You know, how does that feel? Does it feel different? Can you think of a word that is different for that? You know, does it feel the same? Are you still like, oh, God's sake, no, I'm not going to move either? Or is it like, oh yeah, I could get up and move? Like, does it feel any different? Tell me how, for me saying, let's just move a little bit. Does that feel any different? Hi Helen, I can see you've joined us. Welcome. We're just talking about exercise versus movement. We've been explaining how we feel about movement, exercise. Generally, most of us are kind of like really, it's kind of hard. And now I'm saying, does it feel different if I say let's move instead? I can see some comments going through. So, Kat says it's less of a faff. Yeah, feels a bit more natural, doesn't it? Fana says move to the fridge. Yeah, we talked about the snack thing last week, didn't we? Yeah, my fridge is like right there. My fridge is like my best buddy after the cat right now. Cat, fridge, I think that's the order. Appreciate where we're at right now. As it feels much better, always moving takes no effort. Yeah, that's... Claudia says feels less energetic. Oh, I can see my connection may have dropped, but I think I'm back now. Buntingford Wi-Fi. Not brilliant, guys, not brilliant, but I think I'm back. So I was talking about Claudia says feels less energetic. Is that in a good way, Claudia, or a bad way? Helen says it rather depends on the exercise. Well, that's why I said movement. If I said to you, Helen, right, let's exercise, like I've got my trainers on, let's run. Compared to if I said, should we just move for a bit? Does that feel different? Of course, this isn't a good way, thanks, yeah. I thought that's what you meant, just checking. Sometimes we need that energeticness to actually do it, and sometimes it's like, stop it. Like, actually it's easier, it's just more natural. It's not like you have to kind of get over a heap of momentum for it. Sarah says connection's fine. Brilliant, cool. I had a little notification that it dropped out, and yeah, I'm literally on dial-up now over here in Buntingford. We don't even have fibre optic cables, so it's quite amazing I can Facebook Live at all. Quite happy about that. Okay, so it does seem to be that we're feeling a little bit different when I say movement versus when I say exercise, and that is exactly my point as to why I feel they're different, but also interchangeable at the same time. I think we have this whole thing about, oh, we got to exercise, but we all feel like you told me then that it's kind of heavy and it's kind of tricky, which doesn't really help, because then that means we stay stiller and, well, or we move to the fridge more. We know that's been going on a lot, and no shame on that whatsoever, but we know that in the long run it's not the best plan, not the best plan. I feel completely different about exercise and movement, and that's why I advocate movement over exercise. You'll notice in all the affinity wording and stuff, we don't say anything about exercise. It is all about joy and fun in movement. And that means movement encompasses a wider range of stuff that is easier and more motivating to do. And I would say motivation by inspiration, as in something that you actually want to go and do. It's not that you are motivated by negatively, something like, oh my God, I've been in the fridge all the time, I must exercise. It's not that feeling. It's more so, I'm motivated to go and do that thing because I actually want to do that thing, not just as a punishment for being in the fridge all the time for the last 6 weeks. That's how I see it. It's quite different. So from my point of view, movement is something that is completely ingrained in my life now, whereas I still feel the same way you do about exercise. If I'm like, right, scheduling out my week and I have to work out when I'm going to exercise, I feel the same lack of momentum kind of thing that you all do. And I run a sports business. I know that's still a misconception that I should be out there with my trainers on all the time. It's not the case, and I don't think many people are, to be honest. Whereas movement is something that I like doing. So gymnastics is one of them. Doing the aerial stuff that I do, and I think it's also the style of how you do it within it is something that would just naturally happen. Something that you actually want to do. You're not going to exercise as a punishment for what you ate because you know you should look after your body and you should go and run for however long or whatever your exercise is. It's more so something that you just inherently enjoy doing. Now, children have this inherently. They can't actually sit still. Probably a lot of you parents are finding this right now at home. It's possibly quite hard to keep the kids at home and still, particularly younger children. They will naturally want to move all the time and have tons of energy. If you think about when the kids are at school, playtime, they're out and they are tearing about that playground. Now, as adults, we lose an element of that inherent movement. And that's not really very good for us. We then replace it with this, oh my God, I have to exercise feeling, which is heavier and means we do it less, and we get more sedentary and more overweight and more unfit, and we don't move our joints, we get ill, we get sick, we then can't move because we haven't looked after our bodies. So it's this kind of big, kind of a vicious circle as we age. If we can take ourselves back to what the kids have in this inherent just freedom type movement, it's effortless, it's done normally and naturally. And there's also a surprising benefit of that. If you can get movement into your daily life, it actually benefits not just your physical health, but your emotional health and your mental health and your ability to deal with things that are going on, the resilience that you need, and just your mood and your altogether kind of way of dealing with stuff. We actually hold all these kind of, as the moment we're in like a quite high stress situation, we hold all those types of negative emotions in our body. It's stored in our body, and that's what can cause a lot of sort of disease and unease, which that's a bigger topic for someone else to explain. But from my point of view, we hold negative emotions and stress in our body, and a way of releasing them is moving. And it doesn't need to be difficult, it just needs to be fun. So that's one reason why we're doing the Shake Off the School Day type activity that we've got going on the page here, weekdays at 3:30, where it's literally just get up and I literally do it in my living room instead of some of the other coaches, and it's just move to a piece of music for a few minutes, that's all. It could be that you get used to that as you are making your breakfast in the morning. Maybe you've got a bit of music on, maybe you're just moving around the kitchen a little bit more than you normally would. Instead of walking to the fridge, let's dance to the fridge, yeah? It might be often, maybe you've done something challenging. So at the moment, we're all having to deal with quite a lot of stuff at the moment. Perhaps you've had a difficult work task, or, for example, yesterday I spent all day on a training course, which was great, but it was online. So it was literally 6 hours of screen time, and that can be stressful in itself. So regular points through that, we got up, we had breaks and things, and I always made sure that I moved, because I felt then that like almost anxiety or kind of like the pressure of being sat like in the screen, and this is like, it's tense, right? I can feel it in my body. If I move, it dissipates and it goes, and I feel better. If I've got a certain thing, a challenge I have to do, or if there's something difficult, I've had to make a difficult phone call or a difficult decision, or the week we closed the gym and I had to communicate that to everyone was really hard, and I would move before I then went online to talk to you guys or the team, or after I'd done it, I'd then go for a walk. I would move in some way, and that moves these kind of negative emotions through the body and helps you feel less stressed. And my bigger mission here is that if everyone had that resource, that ability to move these emotions and this stress through their body, think how differently our lives would be, how differently we would relate to each other, and just generally how different the world would be. If, imagine when you may have had an argument with someone and they've just flown off the handle at something. What if that person had taken 2 minutes just to move that feeling through their body and then look at the situation differently? They would respond differently. Life would be completely different if we all had that ability to move these emotions through our body. So that's the surprising benefit of movement from my point of view that you might not have been aware about. If any of this is relating, please hit me some likes or some loves. If not, you can choose the angry face, that's fine. I won't be upset, I'll move and I'll get rid of that emotion, hey? But let me know if this is making sense to you. So my first part is that the surprising benefit of movement is moving these negative emotions through our body. It makes us healthier and easier to cope with things that are going on. My second part is for exercise to feel like movement, is to find something that you like doing that is also then taught or instructed in a way where it feels like movement. So something that you just like doing inherently. So for me, that is anything dance related, which is where the gymnastics comes in, it's where doing the aerial stuff comes in. I'm not then exercising, I might go out and do a set of strength work, for example, but I'm not doing it because I'm just doing it. I'm doing it because there's an end goal. And we're doing it because ultimately I want to learn a new skill and I want to be able to perform it. Kids' activities have this all the time. Kids either exercise by just moving around the playground. They're great at that moving, stress out their body thing. They're also great at then exercise for kids. It tends to be like what we're providing is classes with structure and things to learn and goals and places to go. As adults, I mean, it's changing. It has certainly changed a lot in the last 5 to 10 years, but typically we've got the whole to move our bodies involves getting up and running on a treadmill. I mean, and I don't mean to do that down. Some people love the treadmill, that's fine. But what I mean is it becomes exercise for just exercising. There's less of the goal setting. There's less of the reason why to do it. So my main tip around that is to find some way of moving that gives you something that you can learn or something that you can progress, that there's a bigger goal. You're not just moving because you know you need to move. Basically, you're moving because you actually want to achieve something through it. So that could be that you like running and you've taken up the Couch to 5K app and you've got a goal to go for. That's one reason why that particular program is really motivating. It's because it gives you an end goal, something to learn and achieve. In regards to sport, I think that's where sport for adults comes in quite a lot, and this is what works with the kids, is that we're learning something. So I'm not just in the gym instructing an exercise because we're moving, it's because we're trying to learn a skill, I'm trying to teach you something. And that mindset then takes over that part in your brain that goes, oh, exercise dull. That bit isn't there because you're learning something. So it's really important for you to find an area that you can move like that is appealing to you, but also taught in that way. So for example, when we're in the gym and now on our online classes, our coaches are very good at motivating and making stuff mean something. So it's not just, right, we're going to do splits. It's like, okay, we're going to do splits and we're going to, I think we were playing games the other week about, we're going to hold it for X amount of time, but the coach doesn't tell you that. She just says, right, we're going to hold it until we come up with a country starting with letters of the alphabet. So A, country starting with A. Someone in the group has to shout out, I don't know, America. And then B, I don't know, Belgium. You know, for example, so your mind is somewhere else and it's actually a fun thing to do. For the older children, we tend to then actually teach them more about why they should be stretching, so the reasons, so they've got an end goal there as well. So either the goal can be something fun, team-spirited, or actual, you know, as children get older, we can teach them the technique behind it, which makes them have that end goal, that end reason. I'm not just doing a stretch now because I need to stretch, I'm doing it because I will get more flexible, which means I can do that cool skill over there, not hurt myself, and I want to be able to learn that. Yeah, so that helps the motivation. If you've got something over here as a goal, it's just much easier to do. So I want you to post in here how you could use movement to benefit your own emotional state. What could you do? I'll give you some ideas if you want to post in what you think you might do, or pick one of my ideas, as in, how about dancing whilst you make your morning coffee? Or how about getting up and just shaking once every hour, say? Maybe you've got one of those Fitbits that tells you to move. Perhaps you make that something fun. Could you maybe recognise when you've done something challenging that needs you to get up and move, that you possibly would have sat there till? Yeah, can you give yourself 5 minutes to get up and move? And also, what can you do that feels more like movement than exercise? So now we've talked about the distinctions between the two. What feels like movement, as in easy and inherent for you to do, for you or your family, as compared to exercise? So what activities? So I've told you mine is gymnastics, aerial arts and dancing. What is it for you? Pop me in the comments what exercises that you know that really help you feel like, okay, yeah, I can do that, I can move. And it could still be going to the fridge. I'll let you off for that one. Okay, cool. So Sarah says walking is my regular go-to easy movement. Yeah, definitely. Walking, especially at the moment with the weather's being nice. Well, it's better today. Yeah. Claudia also says walking. Yeah, walking, brilliant. So that's like a nice straightforward thing you can fit in your day. You could mix it up a little bit if you wanted to try and add in a little bit more intensity. You could maybe sprint for a little while. So as in you could actually run, or if you want to still keep it quite quite low-key. Literally, maybe just try and walk a little bit faster to the next point. So say like, if I go for a walk, it's out in the fields here, I could try and walk to the end of the field twice as fast as I would have, and then carry on walking. Yeah? So try and get like little extra bits in there whilst you're walking. That's kind of like your next level. So I'm giving you a goal, that's a coach goal. Walking, brilliant. Challenge goal, just walk twice as fast as you would for a little while. See if you can add that in. Sarah says, love to have a dance to break up the workday too. Definitely. So definitely, this segues me nicely into Shake Off the School Day, which, although we've called it Shake Off the School Days because it's at 3:30, really is for anyone who needs to move. And right now, that is everyone. Well, in fact, it's everyone all the time. So do join us. It's definitely for everyone. You don't have to be the kids. I mean, they can join in too, obviously, but everyone is very welcome. Literally, it's me or coaches Dan or Eleanor, and we just do, it's just fun, and it's dead easy. 2 songs and you're done. It's like 10 minutes and you can go back to work. It's really, I'm actually finding leading it, it's helping me kind of, by that point in the afternoon, sometimes we've sat and done work, you know, from lunch till 3:30. It actually really helps after I then have done this and I go back to my desk, as I often do. I've got a bit more burst of energy. I feel a bit more creative, actually. Claudia says, thumbs up. Yeah, great. I'll look forward to hearing how you get on with the walks. And Sarah said, I add an intensity by my 7-year-old being on a scooter that I have to run to catch up. That works out nicely as well. So yeah, if you go with the kids, if they're on scooters, or maybe, why don't you borrow his scooter for a while and make him run and catch you up? Scooters sound fun. That sounds more fun that I might do too. So, cool guys. Thus brings me to the end of what I was going to talk about today. So that is exercise versus movement. I hope that was helpful. I hope you can see that now what we do at Affinity is pretty much all on the movement side of things. It is fun, it's creative, and it's taught in a way that makes it easy. We don't have that heavy, oh, do we have to do this thing? It's not like that. We naturally want to do it because it's taught in a really great way. And we do have space in our online program. We this week launched it over to literally anyone, which is kind of cool. That you don't now need to live near our gyms in Hoddesdon and Cheshunt to come to us. You can be literally anywhere. I mean, as long as you can make class time during the day. So if you're in like Australia, you might have to get up at a bit of a silly time, but I think it'd still be worth it. You can have a look at all the details because we're doing an online membership. We're doing, we can do one-to-one classes now as well. So even if you don't want to sign up to something for a long term, you can just book like a one-off session. And we can do that with the whole family. So it's like, it's one-to-one as in screen to screen. So I don't mind how many of you are on that screen. If that is one person, great. If it is a room of people for a birthday party, great. If it is family wanting some tips, or us to run some kind of fun movement with you that you could then carry on afterwards, that would be a really great way of doing it too. Actually doing a session like that for the Guide Dog Society this week and helping their workers get moving in that way too. So that's cool. So I can also do it that way for organisations. So if you are involved in an organisation that might now want to help its workers be, deal with the stresses and strains of this physically and emotionally, get in touch. I would love to help you. You can have a look at all the online details. It is on our website, affinitygymnastics.co.uk/online, and all the links are in there. And it's also got all the links to the things like Shake Off the School Day and all the Affinity freebie gifts. So do check it out. I'd really appreciate it if you can share that with anyone that might be interested either in a one-off session or a membership, or just wants to come and join in Shake Off the School Day. It is all there. So, thanks very much for joining me. I will see you next week at 10 AM. I have forgotten what topic I am talking about next week, but I know it's good. Could be about inspiration by motivation by inspiration. I can't remember if that one or that might be later on in the month. I know it's good though. I will post in the week because I know I've got a question to ask you about it, so I'll post that in the week. But otherwise, I will be back live next Saturday, 10 AM. Enjoy moving. Feel lighter about it than exercising, and I'll see you next week.